Perhaps it is very unfortunate that the story of him buying the presidential scarf made more headline noise than the charitable causes he is involved in throughout the year. Alex Elias Mashwede, a prominent Harare businessman and philanthropist who owns the diversified Mashwede Holdings Group, had the internet talking for the past few days after he bought President Mnangagwa's personal regalia. At a dinner hosted by the president at the State House to fundraise for a scholarship program, the 71-year-old Mashwede popped out $35,000 for the president's scarf and tie without thinking twice. As if that was not head-turning enough, Dr. Mash pledged another $50,000. A recent report identified Mashwede as one of the business tycoons who coughed up over $755,000 at another State House event buying A Life of Sacrifice, the book that details President Mnangagwa's life. Now, that's money many Zimbabwean businesses won't part with in months, never mind just 15 seconds as Mashwede did. Right after that, social media went abuzz with many asking, who the hell is this man? The origin of the name Mashwede. The name Mashwede is almost a household name, particularly in Chivi and Harare, where residents interface daily with one of his many companies and philanthropy organizations. But perhaps the origin of the name was revealed in July 2021 when Alex Mashwede's mother succumbed to COVID-19. Mashwede's mother Tsvakai Mashwede, née Charambira, was born in Chief Charambira's area and she married the late Mashwede Huide in 1944. So the name Mashwede was crafted from Alex's father's names. Mashwede has vast business interests in property, fuel, commodity broking and liquefied petroleum gas. His company headquarters are at a two-story Mashwede Towers at number 18,226 Culverwell Road, Arcadia, a walking distance from Harare CBD. But his businesses are more than that. The scarf story overshadows Mashwede's vast philanthropic work. Perhaps it is very unfortunate that the story of him buying the presidential scarf made more headlines than the charitable causes he is involved in throughout the year. Mashwede supports cancer patients with medication funding and other needs, and also bankrolled the Man National Under-17 soccer tournament. He has also sunk dozens of boreholes, constructed dip tanks and electrified homes, schools and business centers in his home area in Chivi. Mashwede has also paid fees for over 1,000 tertiary students across Zimbabwe and says he does not even keep a list of their names. "We don't write down their names, that would be unethical," he revealed, adding that he reckons he has pumped out $2 million supporting philanthropy work over the years. Now, when that is juxtaposed with the $85,000 he pledged for the presidential scholarship program, whatever he did at the State House event is a tiny fraction of the works Mashwede has done away from media cameras. The birth of Mashwede Holdings. Mashwede Holdings is actually a multi-million-dollar enterprise that incorporates industrial parks, service stations, food courts and earth-moving equipment. Mashwede's companies do diesel pump reconditioning, supply of school textbooks, office stationery, hospital furniture, and of late fast food outlets in and around Harare and Chitungwiza. He is also into the supply of industrial switchgear, mining equipment, technical instruments, cables, hardware and contracting. Mashwede also owns residential properties in Harare and Norton. Only some few years ago, one of the companies under Mashwede Holdings supplied water treatment chemicals to the city of Harare. In 1990, at the age of 40, Mashwede left formal employment to start Manned Educational Supplies, starting off with a shop at Siswe Business Center in Chivi. Although he started off with only 2 workers, the business soon rapidly grew and spread throughout the country. This marked the birth of the multi-million enterprise that Mashwede Holdings is today. All in all, hourly hits. Com counted at least 7 professionally managed business units under the Mashwede Holdings Group, which are O Chicken Mash, O Manned Educational Supplies, O Mashwede Diesel Services, O Lagrady Auto Electricals, O Mashwede Clothing, O Mountain End Distributors, and O Ropolex Auto Electricals. The group was incorporated in 2012 and formally organized into the corporate giant that it is today. Mashwede has attributed his success in the business world to honesty and to his strong desire to always go for immovable properties. He also values his workers, saying they are part of the success equation. It is wise to invest in fixed properties like land and buildings. It is easy to get a business loan when one has properties. Efforts must also be made to make workers happy. You won't go anywhere with an unhappy workforce, Mashwede remarked. His investment in property saved him from financial ruin during the hyperinflationary period of 2007-08. He got loans using the properties as surety and crawled back into business when the storm was over. Tv remains deep inside Mashwede's heart. Mashwede had deep love for his upbringing in rural Tv. Perhaps that explains why he hinted on retiring to his Tv rural home when his sons eventually take over full control of the vast business empire. While Mashwede is a self-made business tycoon, he has a past as a professional banker. He attended primary education at St. Simon Primary School in Tv, then went for Form 1 to 4 at Baragina Mission and also Gokamir Secondary School. He didn't proceed to A level but instead studied for a diploma in local government administration at Domboshava Training Center in 1972. Mashwede was to later on join the banking sector, rising to become a branch manager. It was while in banking that he did a course with the Institute of Bankers and subsequently graduated with a UNISA law degree. But the entrepreneurship world was calling, and Mashwede obliged. In 1990, he jumped headfirst into the business world. When politicians clashed with Mashwede. Mashwede has also debunked the reports that he corruptly acquired his land by collusion with the Harare City Council. Previous media reports had labeled him as an MDCT funder and close ally of the now late Morgan Tsvangirai, with reports saying this got him preferential treatment by the opposition-controlled city council. But all that was an unfortunate lie, Mashwede said. Most of the land which we got was being advertised by the local authority, in the newspapers on many occasions, and everybody was given an opportunity to participate in the acquisition of the land, to bid for the land. So if somebody says I have challenges to acquire land, I would not know their situations. But, the local authority would sometimes advertise the land, inviting those who are interested to buy and prove that they are able to develop on that land, and they would be considered, and it is that process that we have been through. Mashwede, the Honda Fit driver who paid $85,000 at State House dinner. But, I would not speak for other people's experiences. They might have had their own experiences, but what I am saying is what I am aware of, and at times one might not have access to the newspapers, adverts or other media, but I think it will be proper to correspond with the authorities, said Mashwede. During the period 2009 to 2013, Mashwede was engaged in nasty running battles with ruling ZANU-PF party activists, in particular the violent Chipingano group which claimed the businessman was aligned to the MDCT. The tug-of-war saw Mashwede being barred from operating his businesses in Mbeere, Harare's oldest suburb. Mashwede was to later on play down the altercation, saying it was a misunderstanding. He refused to clarify the nature of the misunderstanding or how it was resolved, preferring instead to say as a businessman, it was wise to be in good books with the authorities. We are business people and we do not dig into the past, which might affect our business, he told the Newsday in 2017 when he finally began construction on the disputed land. What we want right now is to be in good books with the authorities, so that we can survive as a business, he added. Social scene with Mashwede. A few years ago, state-owned media reported that the Tv-born businessman dresses like an ordinary person, lives in a modest house and drives around in a Honda Fit, the only personal car he owns. While at work, it's said he had a predictable routine of driving to a restaurant in Mbeere where mostly bought traditional food and sat down at a table with some of his workers. A car is a mode of transport and not a tool for showing off. My car is a fuel saver. Some people buy expensive cars to impress girlfriends. At my age, can I honestly do that? Mashwede previously disclosed. However, family sources say his sons and colleagues have since convinced him to drive in bigger and safer vehicles, although he occasionally gets back into the hatchback. His Saturdays are described by colleagues as predictable. The business mogul goes to tee off at the modest Falcon Golf Club in Hatfield where he is a trustee. The future, Mashwede's sons to take over. Mashwede admits that he is no spring chicken and that age is catching up on him. Of his 7 children, 2 sons, Tapiwa and Tendai, are already actively involved in the day-to-day running of the business. Titendo was with his dad at the State House dinner, acting as the businessman's chief aide. Family sources told Hourly Hits. Comnet Tapiwa, the other son, is an accomplished chartered accountant and works as the operations manager at Mashwede Holdings. Having been in that role since 2013, much of the company's success has been attributed to the professional manner Tapiwa and other top executives have run the family business. Before joining Mashwede, Tapiwa worked as an audit senior at Ernst & Young Chartered Accountants, where he gained 5 years of experience in financial services, aquaculture, manufacturing, insurance, pension funds and corporate finance. Describing his children as his business partners, Mashwede is already surrendering part of control to them, mentally preparing them to eventually take full control when he retires completely. He also further touched on the business arrangement that he has with his children.